Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new KFC fried chicken nuggets now, available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger licking good.
Me. I'm not going to sing this one.
That was really loud.
Too much.
Okay, turning you down.
Oh, am I too loud? Hello, Lamely!
Oh, my God.
Welcome to Me. I Am a Memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. This one is Fab. That one is Posh. And we, every episode, dig into the memoir, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, if you're wondering where the title came from. Yeah. If you've just decided, what is this thing?
People do think it's a typo. Like, we've accidentally said the meaning of Mariah Carey. No.
No,
the full name.
Because the book is called The Meaning of Mariah Carey, and this is The Meaning of...
The
meaning of Mariah Carey. Yeah. Anyway, we've been having bonus episodes galore. We've been face to face. We're separated again now.
We're butt to face again.
Butt to face. We're doing the full.
Just in that we talk out of our asses.
The full human centipede, metaphorical centipede, right here. So let's barrel on with today's episode, and I'm gonna stir the big old pot full of me moments.
Me moments. So, okay. Things looked quiet this week.
Oh, good.
Until I dug some shit up.
Oh, don't dig shit up. You're the one with the big wooden spoon now. Just let sleeping dogs lie.
Our little headline, turns out Dionne Warwick doesn't know Mariah Carey.
No.
In a recent interview, so this is recent.
You know, she's my favourite person on Twitter.
Wow, I don't know about this anymore.
Oh, I might have to give her up.
Get a Dionne patch. Dionne, it's just her face.
Giving her up for Lent.
Yeah. So Dionne was asked to appraise whether she thought certain artists were legends.
Mm-hmm.
Of Mariah, she said, I don't know. I don't know her that well.
Oh,
she loved her music. Hero is her favourite, you know, the schmaltzy one.
Yeah.
But she has to think on it. She went on to talk about Brandy, who she thinks has the potential to be a legend, and went on to talk about that for 9.5 minutes.
Brandy, whose brother peed on Kim Kardashian.
Apparently, I didn't watch the video. Is that what happened? Oh my God. This went downhill real quick.
There was, she's had quite a career for someone that just got peed on once.
Oh my God. Mothers everywhere should be so lucky.
Yeah. The Kris Jenners of this world are like, come on, go get peed on in a video. I want to be famous too.
Oh my God. Now, Mary J. Blige is a possibility. She may be.
I love Tony Mary J.
So we love. I always think Mary J. Bilge because of
I know, you've got a problem.
The comeback.
You can't read.
No, because of the comeback.
Oh, yes.
Valerie Cherish goes, Mary J. Bilge and Leela Durham. Instead of Lena Dunham. But Toni Braxton, Dionne doesn't know. She doesn't think Toni wants it. She's like, I don't know if she wants that.
Toni was like the first, I think she was the first Black Belle in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. Oh. Yeah.
I love Toni.
She's had quite a remarkable career.
Well, Unbreak My Heart was the first song I decided was my favourite song. Like, I made an announcement.
Oh,
this is my favourite song. But no, I don't know what it was. I just really... And there was a remix and I'd get really mad because that was played more often and I liked the ballad.
Remix.
Well, the remix was good, but I liked the ballad. That was the ultimate original. Into our lead story. Now, as reported last episode, Mariah was given the Innovator Award at the AFCAs.
Yes.
But we finally got the video. Okay. So there are moments, okay? There's a moment with Gayle King who's sort of introducing
Heaven, best friend
Gayle
to Oprah.
introduces the introduction of the introduction, right?
I love that. I used to love that when I did stand-up and I was the MC and I would turn up and someone would introduce me and I'm like, this is a strange situation.
Yeah.
The MC
that was
is
Gayle.
the person who hosts.
Yeah.
But now there's someone introducing me. And then sometimes they would get an introduction on a microphone from someone else. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
this is fuckception, whatever this is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Introductionception.
And that's what we get. And then there's some Naomi Campbell happening. And of course, our very own Michelangelo Davis.
Michelangelo Davis. We love you.
Michelangelo Davis. And she's wearing a pair of glasses that I need.
Oh.
I was like, oh, hang on. I need those glasses. Thank you
Michaela,
very
where
much.
did you get your glasses? Posh
Yes,
needs
can
to
you
know.
please let me know? Now, in Mariah's speech, she quotes herself and the meaning of Mariah Carey a lot.
Good girl.
She talks about visions, music, and faith.
Yes.
She talks about icy flaps and bagels versus subway tickets.
Of course she does. That's our
And
favourite
tells
thing.
us, absolutely. And she tells us, when you're in those situations, you better get to innovating
Yes.
because that's how you get somewhere. Now,
No
Mariah does
sitting on
say,
your bum, doing things.
Mariah says her greatest innovation was creating herself. She
I'm clapping.
dedicates.
I don't even know
Yeah,
why.
She dedicates the award to loved ones who passed during COVID and those killed through racially charged means, which was lovely, as well as her cousin Vinnie Lavinia, who we have heard of, who must have recently passed.
Oh, no.
Because Mariah does have a bit of a sweet emotional moment and points out that Lavinia helped bring forth memories for the book. But the way she does say it is like, I just wish she'd lived to read my book. And I was like, I know that's not what she means, but it was like, oh, hang on, it took me out for a minute.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's a true thing. It's like, you know.
Well, it's also because she helped with it.
Yeah, like,
With the book. So it was actually quite lovely, but my brain and my sense of humor went to, oh, okay. I just wish you'd hung around another couple of weeks.
And spent
to
$30
hear my
on my book.
Yeah.
I've got
Now,
kids
right-
to feed. Come on, Lavinia.
Them babies are going to
$30?
feed themselves. Yeah. It's more expensive in Canada. Now, Mariah finishes her speech with a Bible quote, but clarifies that they are not her words. She's not trying to take publishing from the good book.
Oh, I love her. Like, that is
and
cap. That is
It
mega
was
Mariah
camp.
cap.
And it's a good thing since, Ben Margulies already owns 50% of it.
Of the Bible.
Of the Bible. So that brings us to the end of our Mimi a moment.
Mimi moments.
How about a recap? A recap. Would you like a recap?
All right, well, that means we're in for some recapples of last time. So, last chapter, JD, Jermaine Dupri, Jamash, Escape and Debrat came over. I know that sounds like a lot of people, but Jermaine Dupri is just one person. He just has a lot of nicknames.
It was a very big house, too.
It's a very big house. So they all came over to make a remix, and after a cheeky giggle in the shoe drobe, Mariah went to get chips from Hungry Jack's. I've contextualized that for Australian listeners. She got fries from Burger King.
We have Burger King.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Don't we? We did.
No. I think we did for like 3 minutes and it went away.
Yeah,
again, but they all became
that's
Hungry
fine.
Jack's again. Anyway, she went to get fries from Burger King, chips from Hungry Jack's, and all hell broke loose. So that means it's time for the gist.
The gist. Just everywhere.
All right, put on your Glad Wrap face mask because here it comes. Mariah and Tommy go to therapy. Mariah gets acting lessons, dancing lessons, and shoe lessons. It is quite an action-packed chapter, let me tell you. And we get so many song lyrics.
Oh my God. I wrote notes about your reaction to the songs.
All right,
So
let's
we
get
are
into it. Let's
ready.
break it on down.
All right, so we're still in Sing Sing.
Sing Sing.
And we are hitting up side effects. Now, we do start with a rather substantial portion from side effects from E equals MC squared.
I know,
which
and
is...
because it's such a long way in the future, that album.
I know.
Looking back a long way in the past. Like,
And because it's
at least 6 months of time have
I
passed
know,
between.
crazy. I mean, that's probably being a
There
little
is one
generous.
section in
but-
this chapter where she refers to herself as still only being in her mid-20s, and I'm like, are you ever going to leave?
She's not even there yet. Aging herself up. What's she doing? But also because the songs are more like a higher BPM, it's a little bit more of a bop along song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lyrics
There's
in just
a
one
lot
verse.
of lyrics.
So it's like it takes up like the first page of the book.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. But yes,
And
as
they're
you said, it
just
wasn't,
read. It's not like, she doesn't
she
she
doesn't
doesn't whip
sing.
through them. I think because she wants them to land. She wants you to hear the lyrics. Because when she sings them, she's like, bang, 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 bang.
either that or
I
she
am
sort of
whipping
just like,
through this shit.
she just saw how many words there were. She's like, I'm tired. I don't want to. It's too much. I'll just... Look, yes, this was not released until 2008, which is, like you said, about 6 months after this all happened.
Yep.
So these are some long-lasting side effects.
Yeah.
Like, she's been thinking about this.
Yeah.
But it was interesting just for that fact, because it's like everything that we're about to talk about. It's like, oh, it really did hang on. If you're singing songs about it over 10 years later...
Well, I think part of
that's-
that is, this whole book, which was only written like in the last couple
Yeah.
of years. So I think part of that is also she'd sung about it in kind of obtuse ways, in very metaphoric and kind of, painting images of things with that. But side effects is just like, here are some facts.
But it does what it says on the box. It's side effects. It's a
Yeah.
lasting side effect.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
If she was still talking about it as if it was happening in the moment, that's kind of different. But anyway.
Yeah.
But then, as you said, we get some very exciting news. We're going to therapy.
Therapy.
Not just Mariah and Tommy, but us. I got sick of the prolo digs and we need help.
Don't
So
bring her up and you won't get called a prolo piece of shit. How about that?
No, I think it's time to get therapized. We're getting therapized.
Are we going to get web
happening?
therapized by some idiots?
Yes! By Lisa Kudrow. Oh, I need that. I need it. She comes up an awful lot too. I'm pro Dro. Kudrow. Pro Dro.
I know.
Okay. Now
Such a
to
long
Mariah. So to Mariah's shock, Tommy suggests he and Mariah get some couples therapy with his therapist, of course.
Yes, his sanctioned Columbia Records therapist.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, no, she seems very much older than Gwyneth. I did love the description of her as like it was like Tommy Soprano and Jennifer Melfi. I'm like, what?
But less sexy and more mothery.
more mumsy. But also just kind of implying that Tommy was a gangster. Tommy was in the mob and had people killed. There were lots of people running around with guns in my house.
Everyone was afraid of him.
Everyone was afraid of him. Like, East Side rappers were afraid of him.
Debrat was like, get out.
Get out. I'm from
Darling.
the streets, but get out.
Yeah. Now, overall, though, Mariah saw this as a good thing.
Yes.
Maybe it would help her just get 5 minutes of uninterrupted peace.
Oh my God.
See what I did?
Uninterrupted piece. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Because
I'm
she
surprised
went
I got to say
downstairs
that.
to get a snack, and he's on the intercom going, "What are you doing?
What you doing?
You're getting fat, aren't you, down there? Stop eating!"
Are we back to talking about you and I?
Oh, sorry. There's no caramel in the house. I threw it all out.
In my mouth. I threw it out in my mouth.
I had a dream the other night because, oh my God, my fiance is a psychopath. He hangs on to chocolate.
That's not okay.
I know. That's psychopathic behaviour. Anyway, he still had a whole giant elegant rabbit from Easter.
Was it an elegant fresh rabbit?
No, not elegant fresh linguine rabbit. You know elegant rabbit, the ones you get at Coles? Like the big one, the red tulip one.
Oh, okay, sure.
I see. This is how I know you're young, because we all know Elegant Rabbit from my days, because there was a Coles commercial with a very, very young Lisa McCune in the Coles uniform.
Oh, we
and
love
she would go,
Lisa McCune.
Elegant Rabbits are on sale.
Oh, really?
Yes!
I have weird love for Lisa McCune.
Oh, she's
It's
the
a whole
best.
thing. It's a whole moment.
I've worked with her.
We met at H&M once.
Many times. The top is down.
I just accosted her at H&M.
At
I was like, I love you.
I know, I've actually been on television with her, thanks.
How dare you? Well, no, so years and years ago, I had a huge crush on Maggie Doyle. I'll keep this quick. They were doing a Ronald McDonald Day at McDonald's, and the cast of Blue Heelers were serving. At 5 years old, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to meet Maggie. But
Gold Logie winner.
One person in front of me, and they all left. And so I was devastated. And then about 20 years later...
Instead, was it me?
It was a regular person.
A regular person.
With a regular name. And then about 20 years later, I was coming home from Sydney and I got on the train with my suitcase and stuff. And she was there. And she was on the phone. And I was like, oh, I'd love to tell her how I never got to meet her, blah, blah. And then I was telling someone about it. How even when I saw her the second time, I didn't get to do it. Yes, on the train.
There's Lisa McCune, who I meant to meet once.
Look, I think it was a friend, but why not? It was the woman who played Jo. But then someone said to me, if you ever see her again, you have to tell her.
She would love
because
that
I just
story.
thought it was cute. So at H&M at Christmas time, I walked in and she was with her family, but she snuck off to do something else.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I did a thing
hello,
with her recently.
Lisa?
And she said her family hates her.
Oh, why?
Because they're teenagers. All teenagers hate their parents.
That's true. Well, it was actually quite lovely because she...
Anyway, you went up and said hi, Lisa.
Said hi, and I told her about it, and then she goes, oh, well, the kids would have been very different. I was like, it's fine, I'm gay now. And then she was like talking to me, like her kids came up, and she's like, oh, the son was driving, he's just learning to drive, and it was all very normal. I was like, oh, how lovely. So we got to have our little moment. And now we're best friends.
McCune moment. I've had many moments with McCune. She's a delight.
I didn't know this, actually.
Yeah, she was on Spicks and Specs when I was the team captain. Whatever happened to that show? It's really sad that never came back. Also, she was on,
I love that you're asking me. I don't fucking know.
we were also on an episode of The Glass House together, and I recently did a pilot with her for another panel-style show over Zoom. But that was when she told me that she said, my fucking kids hate me.
Well, now you can tell her that you do a podcast with the guy that nearly met her at Macca's and then did at H&M.
And then,
I'm sure she'll remember.
She will absolutely remember.
She probably will because she's like a psycho.
She's a delight.
But yeah, I'm sad that she's on social media, so I can't tell her more about how much I love her.
She's probably not on there because her kids won't let her. Mom, don't go on fucking Facebook. Yeah.
The H&M guy will be there. Okay, so back to Mariah. Thanks for the McCune moment. That's this week's McCune moment.
We're both going to have to clean the top this week. It's very dirty. Too much name dropping.
Now, at this stage, Mariah no longer trusted anyone.
No.
And has said she's estranged from her immediate family. Now, I'm wondering, do we have more stories coming? Because at this stage, like, we know of the past issues with the family.
Well, and there has been some foreshadowing when she was talking about putting her mum in that house. I thought it would make everything fine, and it didn't, kind of thing. It's whoa.
So Tommy, we know that Tommy was isolating her, but the last thing we heard, Patricia was a fish on the wall, and Alison was not anywhere. And Morgan was actually around a little bit. You know, he was on the periphery. Wondering if there's more dramas to come, or whether Mariah just got too tired of dealing with them and was like, oh, we're estranged now.
But also, like, you know, that's the kind of weird coercive abuse that goes on in these kind of relationships where you are separated from anyone who could help you get out of it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I'm down for a chapter that explores Tommy's relationship with Patricia and Morgan and Alison. I'm here for that, please. Now, Mariah had gotten to the point where she started experiencing hives-like breakouts.
Oh, my God.
But to be very clear, they're not hives. Mariah doesn't have hives. They're hives-like.
Hives like on her otherwise unblemished skin.
But they're not actually hives. Just to clarify,
On
don't have
her
hives.
otherwise
Mariah, you dare.
unblemished skin. Otherwise unblemished.
Now, Mariah did go to a dermatologist, and they said her skin was most likely reacting to severe stress, to which Tommy responded, "Fuck you got to be stressed about."
Oh, look in the mirror, mate.
She actually popped up with like 8 more hives as soon as he said it.
While he was talking.
Now, to Mariah's surprise, the therapist, back to the therapist, was actually a very lovely woman who could act impartially, which is great because that's her job.
Yeah.
And Mariah saw that Tommy respected this woman, so that this could be a way for Mariah to communicate with him about what she's needing in sort of a safe environment. Now, we get a little moment of Tommy coming to collect Mariah.
Oh my God. Collecting her from the recording
I know,
studio.
it's about 6 or 7 o'clock at night for their little therapy session.
Like, I loved her describing this. Like, rappers and hip hop artists that I work with, like myself, have no sense of time, especially
daytime. Darling. They refuse to acknowledge the passing of time.
Especially when the sun's up.
Yes. Now there was something to be said, like the image that I had in my head of, this creative environment, everyone's kind of vibing and doing their thing, and to have this person come in who's got this sort of toxic nature, who just sucks the air out of the room.
You're thinking of whenever I come over, aren't you?
Yeah. But that's the thing, there can be people who...
prolo parties.
Whenever, like, there are some people, people can be commanding of a room.
Yeah.
But it's just out of confidence or a personality type. But there's definitely like a subsection of men, who, I mean, sometimes women, but mainly men, who walk into a room and it's almost like everyone has to shrink, as Mariah says, and become smaller to fit their really quite unearned egos. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all bravado bullshit.
I know people like that. It's horrible.
Yeah. What are their names? List them. Oh my God. I had not heard this.
Oh, you don't know about the cunt.
Oh my God. So now Mariah found it profound that not only their therapist would listen, but believed her. And I instantly removed... instantly, the image in my head was replaced with Oprah.
Of course it was.
Oprah is now the therapist. Now...
Is it Oprah, but dressed as Barbara Streisand in The Prince of Tides?
Nuts? Oh, wait, what was Nuts? That was
Nuts, she was the patient.
She was right. I just remember we had the VHS.
Oh, bless.
My dad's a huge
Prince of
Bab
Tides,
fan.
she's the therapist.
Right. I didn't know that she won like a Best Director Oscar. Did you know this?
Did she win or did she just get nominated?
I believe. Maybe it wasn't the Oscar Academy Award. Is that the same thing?
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing.
Globe.
Maybe but whatever it was, she's the first female to do so for that movie she directed.
Yentl.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, so after some sessions, the therapist Oprah would ask Tommy to wait outside so that she could speak with Mariah more openly in private. And the quote that Mariah says is, "Why can't he just let me go to the spa or to the movies or do anything?
Anything.
I did nothing wrong." That was really sad. When I haven't listened to this one yet. I just read it. That I did nothing wrong really kind of makes you go, oh, well, I mean, yeah, she didn't. Like,
she didn't do anything wrong. And
not
but also like the
that
idea
means,
that you feel like you
deserve it.
No, that there's, like she does bring it up a few times in this chapter. This idea that she's still a kid and he's her dad, but then they're in obviously a physical relationship, and it's gross.
I mean, at this point, they may not be. We don't. Well, nothing's really said.
It has been previously.
1.5 times, but
It's not okay.
oh god. But no, it just really struck me because it was like, it sums it up so cleanly. I did nothing wrong. Why am I being punished?
Yeah.
Even if she had done something, she still shouldn't get punished. But just that pure fact of, well, exactly, I haven't. Why am I getting this?
I mean, the other thing she talks about in this chapter, and like, he's obviously reinforcing that belief with his "what have you got to be stressed about," is this idea that she thought, well, I'm able to write music like that I've always wanted to. I'm able to sing like I've always wanted to. I'm able to create, and I'm selling all these albums. I'm making a stupid amount of money. So obviously I don't deserve other kinds of happiness. I should just find all my fulfillment in this. And it's like...
Which she's mentioned before as well.
Yeah, but yeah, she says that in this chapter, and I'm just like, yeah, that is not an okay way to feel. Like,
no,
those things are not, as enriching as you think they're going to be. Like, getting everything you ever wanted. It's like, what do you... Like that story, is it the monkey's paw where, whatever you wish for, something bad happens as a result? Like, that's not real life.
yeah, yeah, sure. Mariah might have watched that episode of The Simpsons too.
It's a story. Is it an Edgar Allan Poe? Is it one of those? Anyway, the monkey's paw is
possibly. Yeah, possibly. I think it was from one of the Treehouse of Horror. It was parodied.
They riffed on it,
and that's where Mariah would have seen it in the 90s.
She wouldn't have, because she wouldn't have been born yet.
Well, that's true. She watched it on reruns.
It's a 30-year-old show
on streaming services.
Yeah, she would have watched it on
Disney Plus. Yeah.
She signed up for it just last Thursday.
Yeah. Now, of course, the therapist tells her, I haven't heard this, but she tells her, sweetie, it's not normal.
Not normal.
This is not normal.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
Is it? Yeah, I hope so.
As soon as she says New York accent, I'm like, she's taking a run up. She's going to show us her acting training. Here it comes.
Yeah, I know. Now, Mariah does go on to say, by this point, Tommy's mere presence was a hostile occupation. This was also something I related to, because when someone, and I'm sure you can as well, when someone is so controlling in your life, you come to expect it constantly. Yeah. Even when, they're actually maybe in a really good mood, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it becomes a cycle. And Mariah saying that she never thought she'd be strong enough to leave him. She'd hoped that he'd see how stifling he was on her and her work, and would work on himself. But that didn't happen. And we get a little moment from Butterfly, which she wrote from the perspective of hoping Tommy would realise this. Yes. If that makes sense. Which I didn't know this. Were you aware of this?
I didn't know. I knew it was... it's a very emotional song. It's one of my favourites. Yeah. But no, I didn't know that it was intended for, her as a pointed message to Tommy. Certainly, I don't think Walter Afanasieff knew that, because he was very, very close to Tommy. And
how close?
Huh?
How close?
Well, no, just like,
what are you?
No, just when they broke up, when it all happened, he was.
They got married. It's fine.
Yeah, they got married. No, he was like, that was the end of their working relationship, because he kind of was horrified by Mariah having said all these things about him, but he'd worked on that song, so like she clearly would, if that was the intention of that song. Look, I doubt
it is amazing.
It would have been finished.
It's amazing how there are people who act certain ways but can never see it. So if perhaps the song is written about them and they hear it, they have no idea, because they don't see themselves that way.
He would have no idea. Like, even he probably read this book and gone, she was a bit uptight. I don't know what she's on about.
I thought that song was about butterflies.
She can get chips whenever she wants. Like, I was worried about her safety. I thought she'd been kidnapped.
I installed the Hungry Jacks.
I don't know. It's hard to say with those kind of people realistically how they would. But yeah, the butterfly thing was pretty amazing.
Yes. Did she sing it?
Yeah, and layered her vocals. Not all of it though. Like, she spoke it, and then there are a couple of lines of, I'm going to sing this bit, and I'm going to sing it twice. I'm going to sing the background and the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Now, the therapist advocated for Mariah to have more space, for them to take steps to allow her some moments of peace, and for Tommy to just get used to it.
Yeah, just get used to it, Tommy.
Baby
She's leaving.
She's going.
Increments.
And the first step was that Mariah could have some acting lessons.
Oh my God.
With somebody that Tommy knew.
With somebody that Tommy knew. The description of this woman
Oh my God.
is amazing. Do you know?
I do have it.
Are you going to read it?
I'm not going to read the whole thing. What I wrote was, our acting coach with the ginormous breasts was part Earth Mother hippie, part privileged princess, part aspiring guru, and Mariah liked her, well, except for the hippie part.
I said she was like I copied the whole thing because I loved it. She was
Did you?
ample woman who seemed to thoroughly enjoy her voluminous breasts and the fleshiness of her body.
I mean,
she moved with
wouldn't?
abandon. She swished around
Who
in
wouldn't?
layers of Stevie Nicks-esque flowing garments and made grand gestures with her arms. Grand gestures. Do you know who I'm seeing? Is the dance teacher from Gilmore Girls.
oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh my God. She just stands in the doorway smoking while the little kids are dancing. She's camp.
I love it. It probably is her.
Probably is her.
She's an actor.
She is an actor. But yeah.
So, in
Grand
their first
gestures,
session,
even during casual conversation.
her
Grand
voluptuous
gestures.
breasts.
Their voluminous breasts. Do you think this is
think
when
you just
Mariah
motivated
went,
yourself.
I'm unstrapping. I'm getting them out.
Maybe.
I'm getting them out because that's what the woman taught her from her acting
Yes.
lessons was use your voluminous breasts.
Possibly. Get in touch with them.
Get in touch with your voluminous breasts.
All right. So in their first session, the teacher taught Mariah some relaxation techniques, but this was not easy for Mariah because she was always in survival mode.
Yeah. That is a really
Mariah was-
confronting scene. Like to
Yeah.
listen to. It was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was really hard.
I've paraphrased slightly, but I've got the moments here. But basically telling Mariah to breathe and to go to a place where she felt safe. Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe somewhere from childhood.
Nothing.
Nothing. Maybe you're 6 years old.
Nothing.
Nothing. Maybe you're a little older. Nothing.
No.
Maybe it's something recent. Nope.
No.
And this is when it dawned on Mariah that there was nowhere inside or out where she felt safe.
That was really difficult to hear.
Ooh, yeah. The reason why it was extra difficult is, at least from my perspective, was anytime that I felt there's nowhere safe, I'm a safe space, if that makes sense, for myself.
Yeah.
So as long as I got me, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like Mariah didn't even have that at this
Yeah.
moment. It's what little Mariah became for her eventually.
Yeah.
But it does very much seem that no wonder she was unable to relax the shoulders from the ears.
And no wonder she saw a dangerous situation like with Tommy and just went, oh yeah, that seems familiar.
yeah,
I can go headlong into that.
Yeah, and even the comparison to a father-daughter relationship that she makes in this.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, both Mariah and I sat on the floor crying because this was a little too bleak, darling.
Really full on.
And Mariah did cry quite heavily for some time. And
You know,
said
the
that she
other thing
hadn't-
that is freaky is her talking about Tommy crying all the time.
Yes, this is... So she hadn't cried since she'd been with Tommy, but he was the one more likely to cry really out of a manipulation, let's be honest. Here is where we get an everything fades away moment.
Yeah.
And this is when I knew that Fab would be giving this infinity to the power of infinity. And we will be digging into it in a special coming very soon. Now, I think we dig into it a little in Rarities anyway. But after the tears, Mariah did feel a little better. And the acting coach encouraged her to be free in her body through movement. Now, I won't read out the...
I don't know why. I'm loving the complete flips in this book. Like sometimes reading this book is like watching Steel Magnolias or one of those films,
Yeah.
you know, where you're having these really emotional moments and then bang, you've got some comedy straight away.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's like, feel your body.
Now, this is a little terrifying. I actually understood what Mariah was describing because it's actually not interpretive dance. Of course, like in the moment, Mariah was probably like, what the fuck am I looking at?
What is happening here?
It's really just a warm-up
I
of
know.
the areas in your body that hold tension. It's quite common in a dance class. It feels a little bit silly, and perhaps the acting coach was adding some special moments in there.
With her voluminous
some hollering
breasts.
or with her breasts, of course.
Her grand gestures with her arms.
It really is just about getting your body warm. That's all it is. But in Mariah's brain, it was like, oh my God, it gave her Parmesan Nazi flashbacks.
Yes,
she decided this was too white. This was too white. Even Addie would say, Mariah, it's too white even for you, darling. So at this moment, Mariah is told by the teacher that she has difficulty expressing anger. Mariah recalls her therapist saying that sadness is anger turned inwards. She saw that it was the only way to survive. So for her, turning on into herself was her way of surviving. Because who could she ever be safe with? Not Morgan. Not her ex-sister. Not Patricia. Certainly not Tommy. Although she does say, certainly not my sister.
The fact that she lists all the people she can't feel comfortable with is like, whoa.
Yeah. And this was a little moment as well that I was like, oh, this is too real. Because, without going right into it, there might be some fun abandonment and rejection issues in my past. I don't know. And it did very much make me feel like if I ever stepped out of line and felt something that was not approved emotionally, that I would be either rejected or abandoned or, thrown. So, Mariah, thanks, Mariah, for this all of the feelings that I had to feel in this chapter. It was really fun and exciting.
No.
And I really liked it. No, I am. It was more just that thing of like, when someone else says something that you've not always been able to put into words yourself.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like, and to go, oh my God, someone else has been through it.
Yeah.
And when it's Mariah Carey, it makes you feel a bit special. Yeah. Like, oh, well, if Mariah did it, I certainly will survive this.
Yeah, it is really full on. It is like that moment of going, oh, there's nowhere I feel safe. I'm like, oh, yuck. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm probably
I have safe places now because I'm 50.
Yes.
But if I had done this in my 20s, I would have had exactly the same reaction. I would have been like, no, there's nowhere. There's no moment in my life where I...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think for me, my moment is when I was 7. Like, I go back. For some reason, that's the age, and that's when I discovered... Not good for me. That was it was just before it got really bad. But it was when I discovered music. And I was sort of still free to be myself. Other people weren't sort of telling me how to be. I was just me.
Yeah.
So as I go through things, it's almost like I'm like slowly but surely getting back to that person who didn't have all of those thoughts and other people's intrusive opinions and all of that sort of stuff. For Mariah, it's, her age is 12, but it's not a safe space. It's a whole thing. Yeah. Now, it seems that Mariah and Tommy kept fighting and eventually contemplated a temporary separation.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of work for Mariah to think about this due to how in control Tommy was.
But it's not even like, it wasn't even like considered like a separate, like it was just like a temporary separation of moments.
Give her 10 minutes. Yeah, exactly. She just wants to go see a movie.
It's not like she's leaving you. She just wants to have a night off.
Yeah. With the quote, I really didn't think I would be able to escape him while he was still alive.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand-breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new KFC fried chicken nuggets now, available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger-licking good.
and Mariah saying that she was
I
starting
just had
to
a
see...
flashback of the movie Enough, and I probably shouldn't mention it in this podcast.
Who's in that movie? Someone you love?
Is that the one with Julia Roberts and she
No,
killed...
I don't
no,
think
that's
that's
Sleeping with the
her.
Enemy. That's a different one.
No, you very specifically said the movie Enough.
I knew exactly what I was saying.
Did you enjoy that movie? Did you like it? How did you think of the actress that
did
played
not
the
enjoy
lead
that
character?
She's very good in Out of Sight, though. I will give her that.
Oh, so we're just listing off her IMDb now. We know it without even looking it up.
And she's very funny in Will and Grace. Anyway, move on. I don't know who I'm talking about.
Now, this is where Mariah, so after saying that she felt that she couldn't escape him while he was still alive, she then starts to realize that staying with him is killing her.
Yeah.
And this is sort of where you get a real sense of how she's feeling. Like, even, and this is a small comparison, but I remember, like, when I was sort of contemplating coming out, I'd sort of realized what was going on. But I just sort of thought to myself, there's certain people that I don't think I can come out to. I'll wait till they're dead.
Oh, my God.
I will just be miserable for 30 years. And that's what we're talking about, because Tommy's still alive now.
He's still going.
So if that
Lady
were
Valentine
the case, that's
is
a long time.
still making records somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Tommy did take the therapist's advice and agreed to try a little separation of moments. And Mariah could start going places by herself. Then we get a whole get smart
Oh, my
moment.
God. That is so heaven.
And I have to say, if Mariah didn't squeal the theme song in the audiobook, I'm going to be very
She does not
upset.
squeal the theme song.
Well, I was prepared for this answer.
Right.
And so I sent you a little email before
Let me see.
that you should maybe open up and play for the It's really stupid. Especially because I have a bit of allergies at the moment, but I still...
What is that?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine Mariah walking down the secret passageway to that theme song? I certainly can.
I want to hear it again.
And what I actually did was it's layered, so I harmonized my own squeal. Didn't even warm up, just did it.
You did.
It's fine. So I layered, darling. That's production value right there.
You can't talk for the rest of it. It's so stupid. You're such an idiot.
Okay. So you're welcome, is what I have to say to that.
Thank you.
All right. So now Mariah's Should I mime it?
Yeah, go. There's not enough finger twirling.
Sorry, I couldn't. I was trying to see myself and not see myself. I don't know what was happening. Okay, so imagine that being. So what happened was Mariah's acting teacher's building is actually connected by a secret agent passageway to the building next door. So Mariah secretly rented an apartment in the second building, and after acting class would tell Tommy she was staying at the acting teacher's, which he didn't question for some freaking reason. And then with no one from the outside seeing, she'd slip out the private passageway, tap a secret brick wall combination, and slide down a fireman's pole to her survival cave, all while that song was playing, right? To your survival cave. And all the while that song was playing,
right,
as she walked through her own squeals. That was just the demo. Why does it sound like House of Pain's Jump Around?
No, you made it.
So, yeah, but can you imagine Mariah doing that? Heaven.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I couldn't get the. It was too hard. Mariah could though.
Mariah could.
She could
Easily. Easily.
And then, of course, she had to get things brought in, so they were brought in under a regular name. Yeah. And when I say things, it was a futon. Mariah slept on a futon, darling. It was bleak, darling. Now, this was, I love this. Secret apartments, this is what I'm here for, I have to say.
And her studio later on.
Yes.
Her secret cave.
Then we get something I didn't know we needed, which is a whole Debbie Allen moment.
Oh!
So Mariah says Debbie got in touch with her and wanted to work together because she loved her music. Now, I would actually...
she couldn't dance.
Well, yeah, that. I would argue that Mariah actually contacted her one night after a few splashes on the futon, demanding to know Irene Cara's address. Give it to me, Debbie.
I want to do a duet on Out Here on My Own. I've already recorded it. She's just to come in and do a little bit on top.
Because I'm in here on my own, and so I need to be out there on my own. It's a whole thing. It's a moment, darling. Yes. Debbie helped Mariah move in a way where she was comfortable. She was very
she helped her move house. That's a big idea for someone who you barely
it's
know.
It's a good friend, to
very
do that.
Good friend.
Yeah, absolutely. She said, "One day I will give you a copy of my memoir if you help me move. It's worth $30 more in Canada.
$30. It's more in Canada."
Now, we also discovered that Mariah didn't even realise she does the iconic hand flutters.
I know!
Until she watched herself back on the telly.
I did those in my stand-up for years.
Absolutely. How do you know if you're even singing without doing...
Without
pointing
at the notes?
Yeah.
And waving goodbye to all of your fans.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Isn't that what doing scales is? Yeah. Just fluttering your hands.
Yeah, that's the butterfly. If you should return to me. She was just doing one wing at a time because she had to hold the microphone.
That's true. So then we get Kiki Shepherd pulling Mariah aside and teaching her how to walk in heels.
Oh my God, there's so many lessons in this chapter.
Literally, so many iconic moments in one paragraph.
So much. Debbie Allen teaching her to dance. Kiki teaching her to walk in her heels, and the
flutters,
the grand gestures of the arms, teaching her how to act.
For some reason, when you said grand gesture, I'm now thinking of voluminous breasts.
Voluminous breasts and fleshiness body that she moves with the band.
And just
grand gestures.
Just a quick side note with no side eye. Debbie Allen is Felicia Rashad's sister.
I know.
I found that satisfying on 9 different levels. So Tommy and Mariah did start making plans for Mariah's night out. Now, because Tommy is a whiny little shit, he decided that he and Mariah would have to be spotted out somewhere first and photographed. Then, only then, she could slip out the side with her friends. Play the Get Smart song. So stupid. You should do that as your ringtone when I text you.
Do you get the impression with this chapter? I know she says, because he was terrified I would cheat. Not that I ever had an idea of doing that. But do you feel like this is leading up to something? I feel like the end of this chapter, we're heading somewhere not okay.
I think we're going to get Mariah's night out. I think that's coming.
Yeah.
And perhaps...
I think it's a big deal.
I think we might write My All.
Oh my God, if we have the origin of My All, I might dilate.
I think, I don't know, but I think what we're heading to around this time is maybe The Roof on Mariah's night out.
Maybe.
We'll touch on it. So yes, Tommy even wanted out of this deal. Yep. But apparently he knows that a deal's a deal, so he allowed it. And as you said, Mariah says he wasn't even that concerned about her cheating, which she had not thought of. Yep. Imagine if she'd gone, oh, I know, I'll just get laid. I'll go out. That'll help. That's fine.
I'll just get fingered in a club somewhere.
Oh, It'll be fine. Where's Marky Mark?
Oh, where is that Marcus Skidmark? I like him.
But no, Tommy was more afraid that he'd lose his influence over, which apparently he held more valuable than fidelity.
Well, cha-ching, she's making a lot of money for it.
True. And now this is where we leave the chapter. Though, as we've just said, I don't think that this is the end of the story.
No, it is
so,
not.
I think it's time for a little Mariah meeting us. Mariah made it us. Okay, so Mariah meeting us. So last chapter, One Summer Night, we ran away for a while. I gave that a 10. Fab gave that 9-finity.
9-finity.
And the Lamley also gave that. They gave that infinity, not 9-finity, infinity. So what is your Mariah meeting us score for this little side effects chapter?
You know, we start with almost the entire lyric sheet from Side Effects. We get some Butterfly, one of my all-time favourite Mariah moments. We get Everything Fades Away, which was a bonus track only in Australia. No one else knew about it until it turned up on the rarities. We get a bit of, we get so many things in this chapter. Like this, I know we don't, it's kind of like they're informing the origins of songs as opposed to actually being song origins. But we just get so many lyrics and so much singing. We get a little bit of Close My Eyes comes back for a while. Mm-hmm. I can't not infinitize all of these songs.
Fair enough.
And also, grand gestures of the voluminous breasts.
Well, yes. It sounds like an Agatha Christie novel.
Tommy with the prelude in the voluminous breast.
It's the sequel.
Tommy with the grand gesture in the voluminous breast.
Murder on the voluminous breast.
Also, we didn't even talk about her fucking incense sticks and her patchouli.
I know. Of course, how could we? What was the name of the incense again? It's the common. It's the one that we know from the $2 shop.
No, Nag Chumper.
Yes.
Nag
from the $2 shop. It's just from the $2 shop, Mariah. It's just pop down there.
Yeah, but it made her feel soothed. It soothed her.
It did.
That she has never been soothed. And also, her mum probably had it on 24/7 in her hippie phase.
Maybe she had another fragrance that Mariah can't have.
Maybe
can't soothe it.
Patchouli was pouring out of her pores.
Yeah. Now you may be a little shocked here with my little Mariah meeting score.
You're going to give it a 4, aren't you?
Yeah. So I am known as the harder marker.
Yeah.
But I have given infinities before.
Yes.
I definitely Dandelion Tea, but a few others. So it may shock and terrify people to hear that I'm giving this 9-finity.
Poshfinity! Oh my lord!
Poshfinity.
Because of the not having any safe spaces, isn't it? Because you felt like Mariah.
I think what it was...
Will you, in this baptismal moment of Poshfinity, will you renounce your love of Satan, a.k.a. she who shall not be named, of regular name? Please come to church!
It's a little hard to do so when the person I'm renouncing it to just listed off her IMDb and all his favourite titles. Maybe Mariah knows her as an actress.
Oh, maybe.
We should put it to her. Have you seen Made in Manhattan? Maybe she'll go, oh, I love that movie.
Oh, no one loves that movie.
Well, Mariah might.
The chemistry between Ray Fiennes and regular named people is the same kind of chemistry that makes yogurt.
Lactose free.
Yeah. It's not a good chemistry.
I feel like I can. I'm rocking a hard place. Oh my God.
In that chemistry.
But do you know what it is? I think this chapter, it was infinity pretty much from the get-go for the reasons you said, because it's almost like it felt like a partnered it's like the Tommy version of Dandelion Tea in a way, in the amount of feeling. But what it actually was for me was The Secret Apartment.
The Secret Apartment.
I was not expecting this moment to happen because, I mean, of course, it makes sense that it would have, but it wasn't just like, oh, we separated and I had to find a place to live. Because in your head, it's like, it's still Mariah Carey. Like, it's going to be fabulous.
And also, the way she got to the secret apartment.
This is what it is. The way
My timing is impeccable.
It's stunning. But no, exactly. It is. It's the way it was like an operation. This is part 2 of Entrapment, which was last chapter.
Oh, that's right. We had the Entrapment.
Yeah. So we're going from Entrapment into Get Smart, and just the fact that it was like a low point. You know, she is on a futon. This is not a luxurious apartment that she went and rented. This is a secret sort of thing that she had to escape to down a fireman's pole.
Stop saying fireman's pole. It is terrifying that this is what she's come to. Like, this is how she, she is the biggest star in the world at this point in time, and she is still, she's having to run away to get fries. She's having to sneak off to it. Sure, she could afford the secret apartment,
a child,
but like a lot of us couldn't afford the secret apartment. But yeah.
So this might be the first time in a chapter scenario that I have rated higher than you.
Yeah, I'm just regular.
Shocking.
Infinity.
It's regular infinity.
Infinitize.
Genfinity.
No, it's infinitize.
No, just because you said it was regular. Regular. So it's Genfinity.
Say the name.
Well, let's just a regular name. Lowfinity. No, it's okay to say that name because that's just a regular name, like Heather.
Oh yeah, cool.
We're not associating with anyone else. Oh, God, it's just getting ridiculous. All right, let's hit up a little bit of a remix. The remix of this podcast is just that playing all the time now. Can you believe that it went that high? That's just stupid.
You're insane.
The remix. The remix.
Okay, so this actually works very well. My remix would be that if I were Mariah, I'd have sampled and whistled the Get Smart theme song at some point in a song.
Yeah, she should have sung it in the chapter. You are correct.
It would have been amazing. And just having it, like, maybe that should have replaced the firecracker sample.
That would have been amazing. It's probably expensive though. I do. True. The other thing I loved was like she's like the '60s sitcom Get Smart. I mean, it's before my time.
Yeah. That's when dinosaurs were around.
Regular named people were born in the '60s. Not me. 1970.
1997.
My remix is when I found Debbie Allen had inserted herself into the narrative. I was amazed and excited, and I was like, Glitter was very inspired by Fame. If only she'd just done a full-blown remake with Debbie Allen.
Ooh.
Just there. You got big dreams. You want fame or fame costs. And right here's where you start paying in sweat. Yes, Debbie Allen! Oh!
Who would the acting coach with voluminous breasts play?
Leroy.
That is the correct answer. That is the correct. I
loved watching that show when I was young. Like, and every episode she said that at the start. Every single episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it'd be like, doo 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 doo, and it's like all the people at the start. You're like, oh, that one's from the film. Oh, that's a replacement one. That one's from the film. Oh, that's a replacement one. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
And then just Debbie Allen would come off and go, you got big dreams. You want fame or fame costs. Right here's where you start paying.
I'm now picturing. If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. That's the Sister Act 2 version of that, basically. All right. That was your remix. I think it's time for a little Can Take That Away, Mariah's Listen. Can take that away. Oh, Mariah's
lesson.
Oh, so many lessons.
What did you learn this week?
Well, I learned that if
Mariah?
you've got the money, you can buy yourself a whole apartment to hide in. No. Look, I have a bunch of lessons. I think my main lesson is if you find yourself unable to relax because your whole life has been horrific, like that is the moment to go, I can do something about now. I can do something about who I am now and who is making me feel like this now. Like I can take charge of that. And, you know, she's done the right thing. She's going to therapy. She's, you know, I know it's couples therapy and she only gets like 2 minutes after she's finished therapy to do her therapy while Tommy's in the car.
Guess what he did?
Quickly, let's deal with your problems. But yeah, I think that if you find yourself unable to be able to find a place inside of you in your past that feels safe, then take care of now, because you are just going to keep putting yourself in danger. Like that's all you know.
Yeah.
So that's all you're going to understand, and you need to find a place that's safe and good and nice. That's what I can take away.
Now, not to double down with sincerity, a DP of sincerity.
Oh no,
if you will.
don't DP sincerity. That is not how you get to sincerity. Like
Well, we're about to, so lube up.
that's what it sounds like when you get DP'd.
Oh, that's Kelly Ripa. So my lesson this week is that you can't bend your life to fit into someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're living your life by someone else's rules, you know, ignoring your own wants and needs in place of theirs, you're going to break eventually.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't compromise, you know, and make small sacrifices to keep the peace, but you just can't abandon your wants and needs for someone else's. They either love you and accept you as you are, or get rid of them.
Yeah.
Bye. And we've all done it,
Square pegs, round holes, mate. Like they don't go.
especially in the GP.
You can't DP 2 square pegs into 1 round hole.
No. Watch me. Bring out Kelly Ripa. Oh, ridiculous. All right. How about a little I don't know her?
I don't know her. Oh, well, we don't know Tommy every
We do
single
not know
chapter.
Tommy.
We do not know Tommy.
I don't think we know Mariah's immediate family
We
at
do
this
not know
point.
Mariah's immediate estranged.
Yeah, it's strange.
Estranged. In fact, everyone. I don't think she knows anyone. Like everyone in this though are people giving things to her. Like people.
I feel like we know a few people.
Her.
Yeah, for the first time, we know the therapist.
Yes, and her
the acting
voluminous
coach.
breasts and her
We
grand
especially
gestures.
know. We especially know those. We know Debbie Allen.
No, Debbie Allen.
We do.
She's gonna make you
But
sweat.
there is. I think there's one other person. There's one other person we don't know this week. Dionne Warwick.
Well, that wasn't in the chapter though.
I don't think we know her. No, but it's in the episode.
I'm not coping with that revelation. I'm not knowing.
Look, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe she'll get on Twitter and fix it. Who knows? Maybe her people will get on Twitter and fix it.
Maybe I need to get onto Twitter and fix it. Dionne, how can you not know Mariah?
How very dare you?
How very dare you?
I would love that. Are we ready for some Mariah-ism? Mariah-isms.
Isms.
Squeal, squeal.
Isms.
Get smart sound.
Isms. Isms. They're like cats mating.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. Cats deserve pleasure too.
So tell me, how did our Mariah-isms fare this week?
All right. So last chapter we did select a Mariah-ism and put it to the Lamley for their vote. The two options were We Got It Done, a remix, a video, and a prison break all in one day.
So good.
Or B, you know the situation has got to be dire, darling.
I love that even in her most, like, horrified moments, she's like, darling.
I know. So we put it out there, and it's a 75-25% split.
That's not a split.
It is now. It is when I play bowling. And the winner is Prison Break.
Of course it is. I told you that was a good one.
You know what though? It sounded good when we were talking about it, but written down, "Dire Darling" looks so much more Mariah.
Look better.
So I was expecting that to trump it all, but no. So there we are. Now this was very difficult for me to pick
this week
what the Mariah-ism was this week because there was just so many.
Her otherwise unblemished skin, was that going to be?
That was
one of
very
yours?
good. That was very good. That came in at a close second. So my Mariah-ism this week, just because it calls back to one of our favourites, is me squealing to get blood. Theme song. No, my Mariah-ism is "I knew I was too black to do interpretive dancing."
Oh, okay.
So camp. It calls back to
Addie
the Parmesan Nazi. And even Mariah kind of going, "Oh no, I'm not touching that. No, thank you, sweetie." No. How about, what's your Mariah-ism this week?
So many. I have.
It
was sneaky, but I was at the end of my fucking rope. I love that one so much. Flowy garments and made grand gestures with her arms. You know,
that seems to be your favorite.
I'm loving voluminous breasts and the fleshiness of her body. My other one that I was kind of set on was, I had no idea I flooded my hands the way I did.
Yes.
And it was also twisted, but we were trying to give Normal our best attempt, sweetie.
Yeah, I did. I wrote that one down too.
So many. I can't choose. It was sneaky, but I was at the end of my fucking rope.
Okay.
Which,
let's go with that.
Realistically,
it's a good line.
When I heard her say it, I'm like, what do you mean you're at the end of your rope? Like, your entire life is awful.
Yeah.
Like, outside of your career, everything in your life is horrific.
It was a long rope. It was a long rope, darling.
A long rope. Yeah.
I don't know what to say. A couple of little honourable mentions going to easier said than done, lady.
Yeah.
When talking about relaxing. And some days I really did just want to be like Peter Pan and fly the fuck away.
Just like one of her hand gestures. Maybe that was her trying to fly.
Maybe. It's a little wind under it. So I will put those up on the socials and give you about 2.5 minutes to vote.
Yeah, like always.
As happened this week. But I think we are almost home. At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright. That's a no. Now, we do have a very special Music Box episode coming.
Yay!
So I think that's going to be rather hefty, darlings. But that will be followed by... It'll be followed by an epic 3-chapter showdown.
Ooh.
Because we've got some shorter ones coming up. We will have a triple DP.
Like, there's no triple.
That's 6.
Triple DP is a triple double. Like, that's it. That's too many. You can't.
That's too many.
Only 2? I'm uncomfortable at the thought of 2.
Ooh, yeah. I'm uncomfortable at the thought of 1. So the chapters will be The Man from Kalamazoo, Shook Ones, and The Last Show at Sing Sing.
The last show at Sing Sing.
That sounds very dramatic.
To the
Although
end of the second
I don't think so. I think there's still 2 chapters after it. But I also wanted to do a little Lamley shout out because we've had some moments this week. Look at the end. So we had some comments over this last couple of weeks. So we had Ryan on Instagram said, "I look forward to this podcast every week, and I hope this keeps going forever." To which we said that, the way we go on and on, it certainly feels like forever.
This one's been an hour and a half at best. I mean, it'll be gone by the time you'll only hear an hour of it.
Yeah, it's fine. Ryan also said the illustrations keep getting better and better. So thank you for that, darling. That's my little side gig.
Little side hustle.
Ash,
That's your main job. Like,
I know. Well, this is my main job.
He's commenting on your main job.
It's
getting
true.
better.
Mariah is my main job. Now, Ashley said, you guys are hysterical. Love the podcast.
Bless
Thanks,
you.
Ashley. And our favourite response from Brandon, who's just tired of our shit, basically, sending us some footage of Mariah slaying some lower notes as we're always saying she's lost control of that part of her voice. Now, I have actually laid the blame squarely on your shoulders.
Because
for
you
this.
are a quisling.
Because I don't think I've ever actually... You're the one who
Speaking
said
of
it.
people
I
who
don't
have
think
no
I've
control
ever...
over their vocal cords. Jesus.
I don't think
even
I've...
try, lady.
honestly, I don't think I've ever said it. I think this was you,
was
and
me.
I think it was probably just me sort of smiling and nodding because I wasn't paying attention to you. Happens a lot. But no,
I saw
you
a
did
few
respond.
concerts in a row where
Yes.
she made a valiant attempt at something that she realised halfway through she was no good at. And I admit, she may have had a big night the night before.
Possibly.
Maybe didn't do enough warm-up.
Don't know. I've never said it, so I don't know. It sounds very pro. Trying to double back and like going after her voice, that's the whole thing. And I just wanted to throw a special shout out to Clayton, who's always getting involved.
Bless you,
on the
Clayton.
Facebooks, and we do love that. So thank you very much, everyone. Join us on the Instagram and the Twitters and the Facebooks, and I might even mention you on here.
Yes.
At Me I Am a Memoir, and check out the videos, and you can email us at what is it? meIamAmemoir@gmail.com.
It's the same thing.
And do all of the ratings and all of the stuff.
Oh yes, you've got to
And I like it when
rate
it's
us
nice
on the
stuff.
iTunes. Apparently, you got to give us and a review. You have to tell us
Yeah,
that
please
you
do.
hate this prolo piece of shit of a podcast, and that it's some sort of weird anti-Mariah thing, so that people will angrily download it, and we will actually, become famous.
Or just tell us that you want us. No,
I
was
you were
gonna
about
say
to
something
DP
about-
yourself, weren't you?
I was about to say something about how you want it. You wish there were two podcasts so you could get DP'd by it. It was a whole thing.
I'm going to play it so much, we'll be sick of it by the end of this episode, and I never have to hear it again.
I already am. But I think that's it. I think we're home.
We're home.
Hooray.
All right, special episode coming up. Another bonus episode soon, and then obviously next week, a triple DP.
Triple DP.
All right, I'll see you in the middle of the triple DP. Bye, Emily.
Why the middle? Bye.
You don't want to be on the end of one of those.
Hey guys, it's Kayla Ewell from Directionally Challenged, a podcast about realigning your internal compass. New KFC chicken nuggets are finally here, and you have never had nuggets like these. All of the delicious KFC flavor you love in one amazing chicken nugget. 100% white meat, hand-breaded in KFC's original recipe. Order new Kentucky Fried Chicken nuggets, now available at participating KFC near you. Guys, they're finger-licking good.